I'm going to match the color of the strawberry, and I figure I'll do this pinkish area right here. So I'll start with white and pyrola red. I think that needs a little bit of cadmium yellow to warm it up a little bit. Needs more red. It has more yellow in there. Touch of red, and I think a little bit of ultramarine. It's too much. There's more yellow in there. It has to go slightly darker, so I'll add a touch more of this mixture that has the blue in it. It looks pretty good. Let's play around with it a bit and see if I can fill in the rest of the strawberry. And see if I can get that color here. There's more blue in that. More yellow, I think. It's a good start. That's not quite pure red. I could just add some of that white back in there. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this watermelon. I'll start with pyrola red. And it needs to go lighter and more yellow. This is cadmium yellow. I think I need to add more red back in there. A little bit of quinacridone magenta. I think some ultramarine blue will make that darker and a little bit less vibrant. It still needs a little bit more. You can see this is with the blue, that's without the blue. Tiny bit of red. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this radish. This is the color of the watermelon. You could tell that the radish has more magenta in there. I think I'll start with magenta, a little bit of white, and some cadmium yellow. My color's too light, so I'll add some red back in there. And I'll use Ben's yellow, which is a transparent yellow. I don't want to lighten this anymore, but I want to make it more yellow. I'll add more magenta. This is ultramarine blue, and that should make it go darker. Starting to get close. Pretty close to that area. It gets a little bit darker. It's not a totally flat area of color because it's round. So it gets darker at the edge here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this apple without using red. This is Ben's yellow and quinacridone magenta. The yellow and magenta will create red. I made a number of videos about this. There are links to my color theory videos in the description below. My color is a little too light. I'll add some ultramarine blue in there. That looks pretty good. This is a pink lady, but I also have a McIntosh, and the color is quite different. So I'll match that one next. I'm going to match the color of this apple, and I'll start with pyrola red and ultramarine blue. It's not too bad right there. So I know this is basically red and blue. It's just a matter of the ratio between the two colors. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this tomato. This is cadmium yellow primrose and pyrola red. My color is too light. I'll use some ultramarine blue to make that darker. I think it needs more red and more blue. I think it's just a matter of adding more blue to make it darker. It's getting close. I think it'll help if I brush it onto some paper. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this red pepper, but this time I'll use cadmium red light. To make that darker, I'll add a small amount of phthalo blue to that. This is quinacridone magenta. It does look like I'll need some of this pyrrole red because the cadmium red really wasn't quite red enough. That's getting pretty close. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this ketchup. This is pyrrole red. To make that darker, I'll put some phthalo green in there. It's pretty close. I think a little bit of yellow. Just a small amount of the green. It's pretty close. I think it has to go more yellow though. It's not too bad, but I think it has to go lighter and more yellow. So I'll add some cadmium yellow to it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of these jellied cranberries. This is pyrrole red and ultramarine blue. I think it needs more blue. It's not too bad. I think it might have to go a little bit more reddish. That looks pretty good. So let's try this lighter color right here. I think it'll be very similar, just more red. It's not too bad, maybe lighter. And I think it needs more magenta. That looks pretty good. Up next, you can watch my other food color matching videos or check out my color theory playlist. You might also be interested in my illusion videos where I try to make the painting blend into the background. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.